Miiniac.
In the long-forgotten, prehistoric time of 2009, one program was all the rage in the world. It could do anything. Play music, run websites, create animation, and most importantly, play games. Adobe's Flash was on top of everything, and then one day, it vanished. Flash was wiped clean from the slate, never to be seen again. The content, animation, games, lost in an instant. A huge mystery no one could solve. That is, until today. They've hired me, Master Detective Miiniac, and I'm going to crack this case wide open. And I think I know exactly where to start. My dubiously legal little investigation starts here, with Bad Ice Cream. Bad Ice Cream was a frosty little flash game developed by the maybe well-known developers Nitrum, creators of shit like Silly Sausage, and the ominously named The Bucket. Anyways, Bad Ice Cream was released in 2010 in Nitrum's iconic glistening and weird metallic pixel art style. Dude, that is totally retro. In Bad Ice Cream and its multitude of sequels that I'm not going to touch today because I thought it'd be funny, you're the ice that ain't nice, and the cream that's real mean. All you gotta do to start is pick a flavor. Strawberry ice cream is kinda ass, safe to say, and I never really liked chocolate, so vanilla it is. Bad Ice Cream is in simplest terms a really simple 2D chase type game that involves running around collecting succulent fruits and berries, and dodging a bunch of Where the Wild Things Are rejects. It's kind of like Pac-Man, but if you could surround the people you don't like in an icy prison, and keep them in cryostasis for the rest of eternity. Oh look, a level that looks just like Pac-Man. Controls are straightforward as it gets. Using the space key, you can crack your skull on any ice blocks you find throughout levels to shatter all the uninterrupted ice facing that direction. Doing this where there's no ice will instead show your own slick line of ice blocks. Are you seriously asking me how you move? You use the arrow keys, you stupid ham. Keep up. Every single level in Bad Ice Cream will have you do generally the same thing, collecting all the necessary fruits and making sure not to get flattened into milk and sugar soup by, I don't know what to call these guys, moving on. Or at least I'd assume so, since this game is kind of hard as a rock, encrusted with even more rocks. I got stuck at about level 25, and can you really blame me? These guys look like lemons crossbred with a Sasquatch. And it's not good YouTuber etiquette to just watch someone else's playthrough and not even take a lick at the levels myself. Maybe just the peak though. Alright, never mind, that's all there is to the game. Bad Ice Cream is genuinely a really neat little puzzle game, but it eventually stops throwing new game mechanics and enemies at you about halfway through, leading to all the levels becoming a little stale and extra to compensate for the lack of new content. It's really kind of lame and ends up turning out this way, as the base for this game is really top-notch, with some catchy music and excellent pixel art as ever, but it just doesn't do enough with the concept, beyond use it as a vessel to cause me internal bleeding. Now, you may think to yourself, why am I judging it so harshly? It's just a simple Flash game. It's not supposed to be super great or complex, just simple and fun for a short period of time. But know this, straw man. It matters not the tools one uses to make a piece of art, but the experience it brings to the player. Flash games can be so much more, just look at games like Kingdom Rush and Burrito Bison. But you're probably right. It's a stupid little web game from 2010, and I should probably give it more of a fair shake and a half. So what can I say about the little dingus in question? When I was like 9, this game always kind of unnerved me. I don't know if it was the crunchy, crisply, crackly audio of the music, or the fact that half the enemies in the game relentlessly hunt you down with a determination unseen since Resident Evil 3, but I think I was kind of always on edge playing this game as a small, round, barely Hispanic child. Now let's be clear here, I was a really stupid child. Speaking of stupid, sheep aren't no further smarts. Maybe. This segue sucks, but I'm not apologizing to any lambs in the audience. Shaun the Sheep. If you're not aware of Shaun the Sheep, you're not human, and are in fact an endangered species of salamander, named Weller's salamander. Just go with it. Shaun the Sheep is actually a spin-off of the well-known Wallace and Gromit franchise, and has like a weirdly high amount of official Flash games made for it. These Flash games range from whatever the hell this is, to just the greediest fucking barn animals I've ever seen. The Shaun the Sheep Flash game I'll be jamming into your cranium forcefully today, however, is actually the fairly popular Home Sheep Home. And when I say popular, I mean popular. Look at it, it's got a whole wiki and everything. Things are looking pretty dire in the Home Sheep Home fandom, actually. Anyways, Home Sheep Home is an honestly really unique puzzle platformer that was developed in-house at Aardman. It uses the traits of a classic cartoon trio, the small and short one, the normal guy, and the fat man, and makes a game out of it. Using your federally provided number keys, 1, 2, and the third one, you get to take control of this herd and use their unique capabilities throughout every single level. Sean
The sheep.
is kind of like your starter class. Quick, reliable, jumps high, but will hit his peak in high school and end up dying as a middle-aged manager in a Del Taco. Timmy is the baby. He does baby things, like crawling into tight spaces and getting crushed under the weight of a bookshelf. And finally, the
fat man.
Shirley. Shirley provides the brawn, the strength, the power, and the ability to use like a platform for the other sheep to go on and do greater things, leaving him behind the dust like he never mattered in the first place. Every single level involves usage of these abilities, whether that be the impending Wheel of Doom, or struggling to throw a box over a wall. It really isn't the hardest thing in the world, but I really do enjoy the various different ways you get to utilize the Woolen Trio, with a different aspect of their abilities being explored basically every single level. I really like this one level in particular, where you have to use its overwhelming girth to land on the other end of a seesaw, and launch the lightweight lamb into the stratosphere to hit a switch. Is this ethical? But there really isn't much more to it, you know, beyond the subsequent sequels and worldwide acclaim. According to the Home Sheep Home Wiki, great source by the way, the game racked up 6.5 million people to play in the first month alone. And its an entire lifetime, it made 100 million plays. Now, as to how that constitutes in a cold hard cache, I can't really say. But what it did result in was numerous sequels, this video, and even a Nintendo Switch release of one of the later entries in the series. Well, it can be said, I love Nintendo and their business practices, don't even get me started. Gosh, this wiki is just chock full of information. I wonder what else there is. You know, I never thought I'd see him stoop this low. And that's where our tale entwined in twine, made from sheep wool, ends. I'm sorry to say it, but there is no deep lore or gorgeously animated cutscenes in Home Sheep Home for me to mumble about. You simply get the chance to
explore over
15
levels.
And a little else. Yep, it's just good, classic, all-British sheep and hay platforming. Oh, you want me to discuss the sequels? Well, maybe just this one's for you, little buddy. Home Sheep Home 2 is the long-awaited sequel to— oh my god, it's Iggy's Wrecking Balls for the N64! Not again! Ah! Well, back at the office again after a long day's work. I've lost so much hunting these elusive Flash relics. My wife, my retirement fund, my prized 200-pound watermelon that I treated like a son. And yet, I'm no closer to solving the greater mystery at hand. Seems I've got to go a little bit further back than I was expecting. I've got to go back to the past, to play the shitty games that suck ass. Age of War! Age of War is a game where you rise to the various eras of human civilization and wage never-ending feuds on your neighbor across the street. Look at this cool horse the developer drew. Feeling excited yet? Age of War is actually kind of fun for what it's worth, but like most Flash games, lacks depth and strategy, which is kind of weird for a game all about depth and strategy. In Age of War, you're the man with the plan, and the Homo sapien with the— I've already done this joke, stop! You send out units upon units of white men with weapons to slaughter the other side ruthlessly, who does the exact same thing to you. Now unfortunately, you'll find that sending people off to die in battle for your own gain doesn't come cheap. You could just draft everyone, but we're running an ethical operation here. We pay them like $5 and then we draft them. Yeah, you're starting to get it now, I can tell by the look on your face. Almost every era this game will stick you in will allow you 3 types of units to buy. A generic basic melee unit, a more expensive ranged unit, and a very strong, incredibly costly large melee unit. And I'll warn you, don't be fooled by the looks in the tin of these. They are genuinely all functionally the same beyond their stats. This brutal, monstrous tank of war may look like it could shoot a hole through the chest of even the most hardened soldiers from a distance, but its explosive rounds actually disintegrate after 5 milliseconds in the air, so they don't travel very far. You'll also be hooked up with a variety of turrets every single era that'll raise the death toll even higher. Aw yeah, I love death and mass murder, let's go! And last but not least, your special ability. It's kind of easy to forget these even exist, considering you kind of don't really use them for most of the game, and they only clear out a number of units you can count on a single hand. Besides that, the gameplay loop is relatively simple, unless you're one of the Neanderthals featured in the game. Send out like a couple normal units, a ranged unit behind them, a large unit here and there, get some new turrets, and upgrade to new eras when they become available. It's as simple as that, don't even underestimate me. You're not gonna believe this, but I'm gonna rag on the lack of depth and strategy in a Flash game again. Piercing through the enemy lines and actually reaching the win condition for the game is nigh impossible, especially on higher difficulties. It's actually more of a survival game in this sense, keeping yourself alive rather than focusing on trying to kill the enemy. The only way to get even a chance to smash the enemies for a turn and burn their crops will come in only in the final era, the future era. Modern technology and warfare will grant you a 4th type of unit, the Super Soldier. It's basically an unstoppable ranged slicing and dicing killing machine that essentially marks the end of the game for whatever side it's sent to. This is kinda lame. For most of the game, you'll be at a stalemate where neither side can even make a move on each other, until the end, where the first person to unleash the beast wins. But that's just what the game is like. It's not its fault it was born ugly. But you know who wasn't born ugly? My lovely viewers and fans. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to be ugly. However, Age of War didn't have to be conceived this way. Let's get intoxicated and completely sidetracked with a different yet similar game, Stick War. Hear me out on this, Stick War follows almost the exact same beats as Age of War. You build up cash to train units of soldiers and more, your enemy does the exact same thing, both sides have to tear down the opposite side's base, they both have war in the name, the sentence is running on too long, penguins. The idea Stick War brings to the table, unlike Age of War, really make it feel like a far more fleshed out and just generally better game. In Stick War, money is gained from training minor units, rather than simply killing enemy units. And this works really well, as the best strategy for the game is to build up units and plan an attack when the time calls for it. Not only can you have troops fall back or sent forward when needed, but you can even take over the vulnerable consciousness of one unlucky soldier and control them yourselves. And that's really what Stick War provides, actual strategy. Not only is the battlefield not two-dimensional, allowing for far more variance in what happens in battles, but the options provided to really take control of your units just make it feel like a far more enriching experience. It's got stages too, and an upgrade system to further the capabilities of your army. So yeah, those are my totally justified reasons for ragging on Age of War for not being a different game entirely instead. It didn't have to do exactly what Stick War did, but you know, it had options. And this insanely cool horse picture. Well, that got us nowhere. I've come no closer to solving the malicious mystery of the missing Flash games. I've come down to the last jar of me paste for growing these, and I'm really starting to feel the effects of withdrawal here. I don't know what to do. Fuck, wait, I still have some food in the pantry. Oh my god, it couldn't be. A true testament to the greed of man, Spider-Man's Cheesy Nipples Hunt is a product placement type game where the goal is to snap pictures of the Cheese Nips logo and various other worthless junk to increase the value of the Nabisco Corporation. Sure, you could get a priceless picture of Spider-Man that could earn you millions and make you the talk of the town, but look at this, the random schmuck on the street has a Cheddar Nubs logo on his back! Pin him down and tear off his genitals! Now, despite what you might expect from such an out there and avant-garde idea like this, Spider-Boy's Swiss Biscuits Showdown isn't actually a very hard game. You got a super awesome list of 3 targets to snap, and if you strike something that isn't on the list, 3 strikes and you're out, cold in an alley with your eyeballs harvested to make even more Arachnochum's Gouda cookies, and with no recollection of who you are and who you ever were. So please, don't f*** it up for the rest of us. It says here, once you snap all the targets, you'll move on to a different location, and you do the exact same thing in the game, within the time limit forever and ever until the sun coughs up its final breath of life. Did you know these godforsaken cheese snacks were actually recalled and discontinued in 2019 due to a plastic contamination? Which is silly, honestly. All the food I already eat is full of plastics. My brain is like a micro. My brain is like a petri dish. Why did the cheese butts get the short end of the stick? Why can't I feel my legs? The tale of the disappearance of Flash is a complicated one. Try as I have, I've yet to truly grasp how deep this case goes. And truth be told, it would be silly for anyone to pin the blame on one person or business entity as a whole. Things like this are multifaceted and would never just come from one suspect at a time. One day I will return to truly crack this whole ordeal wide open, but until then, I'm Master Detective Miiniac, and I'm being held hostage by the Nabisco Corporation for tarnishing the good name of the Incredible Hulk's cheesy f***ing ball safari. Looks like this whole Flash mystery is yours to solve, friend. See ya around.